Washington Governor Bob Ferguson released nearly $40 billion in recommended budget cuts this morning to tackle the state's projected multi-billion-dollar deficit.
Albert James shows us where he's looking to trim spending and where he currently stands on implementing new taxes to handle the shortfall.
It's a challenge that's going to demand thoughtful leadership, action, and a commitment to fiscal responsibility.
Governor Ferguson's recommendations aren't a full budget, but rather suggestions for the legislature to consider as they write the state's budget for the next 2 years. The nearly $4 billion in savings includes reduction to government travel, property, and non-vital operations, reviewing and scaling back new spending and program expansions, and making most state employees take a furlough day every month over the next 2 years. Ferguson says the recommendations build upon $3 billion in savings proposed by former Governor Jay Inslee.
Combined, these proposals reduce the projected $15 billion budget shortfall by $7 billion.
You heard that right, $15 billion, not $12 billion. The state's now short an extra $3 billion. The reason, a sharp uptick in demand for state services across the board, like health care, child care, and education. Ferguson says there's an additional $1 billion of savings state agencies suggested, and while he'll provide them to the legislature, he's not necessarily recommending them.
As a general matter, they tended to be services directly to Washingtonians, a benefit they were receiving, housing assistance or something along those lines, and I was reluctant to cut those.
Before he was sworn in, the governor said he viewed new taxes as a last resort to close the budget gap. He echoed that message Thursday, saying his focus has entirely been on identifying savings, and it's too early to say whether new taxes will be needed.
Look, we're not going to tax our way out of this thing. Not going to happen. $15 billion is a lot of money.
In a statement, Republican budget writer Senator Chris Godon welcomed the suggested cuts and praised the shared belief of new taxes as a last resort, but he also says more opportunities for savings exist. Democratic budget writer Senator June Robinson appreciated the governor's work, but said both thoughtful reductions and progressive revenue options are necessary to meet people's needs. Ferguson says more savings proposals will come in the next few weeks as his team continues to work to close the budget gap. At the same time, he's going to be talking with legislators about their proposals and is looking forward to an updated revenue forecast later next month. He says he's hopeful the legislature will come out with a balanced budget before their session ends on April 27th. At the state capitol in Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.